Alright ladies and gents, another year and another raging inferno being set loose on the highly flammable drama Sahara we call the internet. Obviously, my last video covering the drama surrounding Dream recently was reviewed in one of two ways. You either supported it and genuinely conversated, or you absolutely hated the shit out of it. Which, fair enough, anytime you say anything slightly critical of the Green Mask Man, you're bound to get angry stans barking in your face. Really just goes to show how much of a manipulative death grip Dream has around his fanbase. Anyways, that's besides the point. Honestly, while the hateful comments were mostly just spewing faster than a 9-year-old gets off the Fortnite skins, they did prove a little criticism which, albeit is deserved, yet stemmed from the wrong ideas, if that makes any sense. Yes, that video was relatively biased, yet I literally warned that in that video that I was a biased source because frankly, I've never been a fond of Dream. Calling me out for bias when I clearly stated that I was biased seems really redundant and stupid to me. The other hateful criticism was about my absolute dogshit Fortnite gameplay, which I totally agree with. I'm not even going to try to defend myself on that. The Fortnite gameplay was a horrible idea, but that wasn't the focus of the video. And really, these comments aren't the focus of today's video either. Rather, I wanted to do a follow-up on what's been going on with Dream recently, especially now that he posted a whole hour-and-a-half long video defending himself against every drama and allegation known to man that ever came towards him. He did divide it into chapters even, making it a lot easier to digest, so I applaud you, Dream, really. There's some real good stuff in here, and I'm not gonna lie, there's some parts where I do truly feel bad for Dream. For example, during his section talking about his leaked face photo, he explains the various times that he had been literally swatted in his own home and people camping outside with cameras to reveal his face and dox him. People went as far as to even get his family swatted. I mean, that's literally absurd, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone, no matter how I feel about them. It's horrible, disgusting, and quite frankly, I hope that those who did that get what they deserve. Anyways, Dream goes on to discuss other issues throughout his career, like the whole speedrunning cheating scandal and leaking some private messages of other large creators. The dude's been part of a lot of issues. While this is all notable, I'm going to mainly focus on the chapters that pertain to the pedophilia allegations in the situation with Nicholas Cantu. However, as that's what's most relevant on this channel and relevant to the video that I already made. Besides all this, I'm also going to try and take a more quote-unquote unbiased approach with less memes and jokes, but I can't guarantee that I'll be totally clear bias. In most cases, I'm going to take what Dream says and analyze it with other information I have and kind of come to my own suspicions and conclusions. I just want to emphasize that I don't believe something is true until it actually gets confirmed factually. I'm simply being hypothetical with most of the conclusions I come to. Nothing from Dream nor other sources is considered factual to me, really, and this rather serves as an opinionated analysis of sorts. Anyways, moving on from all the hate comment shit dodging nonsense, one of the first, I guess you could say, weird things that Dream addresses is the idea of him posting thirst traps, which he states were most likely just photos taken on his public Snapchat for the creator stories. Snapchat, wanting to suck the literal blood out of creators like every other app, encourages these creator accounts to post upwards of 100 photos a day, so it just ends up being random crap Dream takes throughout the day. Dream claims that scumbags took these images out of context and reposted on the godforsaken cesspool we call Twitter on fake accounts with suggestive captions that gave him this bad image. And yeah, I can agree, I've seen similar things myself with both Dream and other creators' reputations being tainted by these obese trolls behind a fake Twitter account. It's a fairly common danger actually for large creators, so it doesn't shock me. Still, I feel like there's been weird content that Dream has posted himself on platforms like TikTok that gave suggestive vibes, not to mention the I Like Minors shirt he made a joke about on TikTok, which it was undoubtedly him. It was on his account. It's been deleted since, or at the least I can't find it, but I've asked multiple people and we can all agree that it did exist. I've seen other videos talking about it too. Anyways, likely Dream didn't actually publicly post anything like this, and I don't take him for being that stupid. I mean, he was stupid enough to do the minors thing, which was something you shouldn't joke about with the shirt, you know, but combined with the basis that it happens to so many other creators, it probably wasn't anything that was actually him. He moves on to talk about his public Snapchat account, which people complain that he has this with the claim that a grown man shouldn't be using Snapchat, and yeah, I agree that grown men should not be using an app that most teenagers and young adults use to ghost each other and create their own drama with, but people aren't considering that in Dream's case, this is a public account that he profits off of. In other words, it's no different from him posting a picture on his Instagram or Twitter. It's a creator account purely for profit and promotion. The other account he addresses, however, tells a bit of a different story. Apparently, Dream has a fan art account, which I had no idea even existed, but basically it likes and retweets the horrible, cringy, often gut-wrenching fan art that is made of Dream and everyone around him. Supposedly Supposedly someone runs this account along with the public Snapchat, and in the past she's liked some very questionable things on Twitter, which of course projected a poor image on Dream. She claims to be a friend and only liked the art because it made her giggle and shit a little. Whatever, the point is she should know that her actions on this account clearly reflect Dream because it's operating under his image. It's not so much Dream's fault as it is hers, but in the end Dream had this person run his account and the liability ought to fall on him. It's a bit of a weird one and doesn't necessarily mean Dream is a poor person, but rather that better management would have been justified. I'll also briefly talk about how he complained that many people take his satirical things like certain TikToks he's posted at face value simply because they see the headline or the main idea, associate it with cringe, and go after him. Instead, Dream is just playing along with the meme, embracing the cringe that he radiates, but others don't really see it that way. I mean, this is true with any content. Again, we as people are naturally going to glance at something and take it at face value. As well as that, some people struggle with properly interpreting certain types of videos, such as these satirical ones, and could lead to genuine confusion. I just think that if he would have been a little more straightforward or a little more obvious, some of that could have been avoided, but some of it was out of his control too, with stories and headlines that spread these misinterpretations. It's a case of people misusing context and assuming the worst, so I can sympathize with Dream a bit here. The beef of the situation though likely comes into the more recent things concerning his audience and the interactions he's had with them. Towards the beginning, he states that his audience is actually older than perceived, at least on YouTube, usually leaning into the college ages. Furthermore, he also argues that his videos don't even cater towards younger audiences due to their length and editing. While I strongly agree that his videos don't cater to the mind-rotting, overstimulating short content that the current generation of children like, you also have to consider how many age groups don't show up in his analytics on YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I may very well be, but a majority of children seem to watch YouTube signed out instead of having an account, like on their tablets. This means that they can still find channels and watch content, and YouTube likely doesn't know anything about their age. With his influence, promotion on YouTube, and usual view count, I'm sure Dream pulls his fair share of signed out YouTube viewers as well. He also mentions how he posts similar images to other influencers, but they get seen as predatory simply because he's a Minecraft YouTuber, which provides the misconception of a young audience. Most creators really stray away from interacting with their audiences too much anyways, for fear of context being lost, which I think is a very valid fear. Anyone can change anything around to make someone look worse, as most internet sleazebags do. Dream, however, has interacted with his audience even on the levels of DMing them. I do agree this is a little weird to just DM a fan whenever and whatever the topic is about. Now, he doesn't necessarily initiate these DMs, but he responds and carries them on. He also claims that he interacted with his community initially because it was small, which is fair, as interaction can create growth in a community. When you reach a certain scale though, it's a little different. Soon, that interaction doesn't promote growth as much and can even lead to interacting with the wrong person. Dream says though that the responsibility of a creator is to recognize dynamics, in quotes, and react accordingly, which I couldn't agree more with, and at the same time feel he's struggled with in the past. Really, he should just stay away from his fan base in terms of direct interaction because of its size and really the toxicity it promotes both towards him and others. Anyways, I'll skip the other issues like the first two grooming allegations, as those were mostly proven false and aren't terribly relevant to what I've already covered in the last Dream video. Instead, I'm going to focus on the chapter where Dream addresses that horrid moaning video that surfaced in the past few weeks. Dream, of course, starts by denying that there's any truth behind the allegations. The tweet alleges that the clip was taken in 2019 when Dream was 20 and included Dream sending suggestive captions and moaning audio to a 16 to 17-year-old girl from a Snapchat that was supposedly him. If you watched my last video covering Dream, you're familiar with what this is, and I'll spare you the absolutely horrid clip. Dream plays it in his video with the audio off, which was a little confusing to me. He claims that all of the evidence, including supposed Discord messages, including so-called friends of his, were all fabricated, taken out of context, or blatantly lied about. Dream again iterates that he never groomed this girl who was named Jamie. He instead explains that Jamie is someone he follows on Twitter and that he had followed before his fame on YouTube, rather finding her as a friend thanks to their shared affinity for Minecraft and content creators. Because of his following of her, people claim that this is proof enough that he's had inappropriate interactions with her. He pokes holes in these allegations though by calling out the fact that accusers claim that she quit the internet in 2020, despite her posting all the way through 2022 and changing her account name during all of this drama. The burner account that made most of these accusations also emphasized that they had permission to post the moaning videos, despite claiming that Jamie had quit the internet, and obviously Dream wasn't the one giving them permission to post moaning videos on the internet, saying it was dead ass him. The burner continued to back these claims, saying that they were true without a doubt, and naturally people followed. The topic was even picked up by Moist Critical, which the burner criticized for some fucking reason, despite it being purely speculative in itself. Then Dream brings up something that I truly wasn't expecting. A real surprise out of the bowels of left field, actually. He managed to get a hold of one of the people in the Discord screenshots that was supposedly a friend of Dream's talking about the videos, and interviewed them about the issue itself. They state that the messages were severely out of context and created to portray Dream in a poor light, and that they made false claims despite not having any knowledge on what they were truly saying. The burner account made the allegations despite not knowing Jamie or even ever having any contact with her, and posted the Snapchat proof despite not providing evidence or showing the profile, while simultaneously cropping out context from messages. Basically went super scumbag Twitter mode to fabricate information and remove context to draw attention, including the attention of myself. Hell, there wasn't even anyone actually opening the Snapchat, it just opened itself, a detail I didn't notice entirely at the beginning, but now that I look at it, it's so obvious. This burner didn't stop here though. Oh no. Twitter brings out the balls in people, because they called Dream's local police department about the issue. Well, they claim that anyways. Dream called the police to check the issue, and sure enough, the records were blank. His name was not found anywhere. Anyways, I'll pinch the turd here and call it good on the pedo allegations. He goes on to even interview Jamie herself, and it pretty much accomplishes the same thing. At this point, it's apparent that there are holes in both sides of the story, but it looks most likely that the accuser is just completely and utterly false at this point with how much their story fell apart. Additionally, things like this happen with large content creators all the time. I mean, you can't go a month without someone over 1 million subs being falsely accused of something. Again, I could see the possibility in the beginning just based on my prior judgment of Dream, but with such a poor argument on the burner's part, it's safe to say Dream never really had majorly inappropriate interactions with a minor. The other major drama I covered in my last video had to do with the fight between Nicholas, Cantu, and Dream, all taking place in an Uber. If you watch my last video or even just have some knowledge on Dream at the moment, you're likely aware of what went on, so I won't go into too much detail. Dream, of course, has his own response to this as well. The whole interaction started when Dream went to a birthday party in Austin, Texas, and Nicholas was, of course, there as well, being born and raised in that city. Dream claims that the actor was aggressive towards him from the start and even hit him on FaceTime just to impress his friends. By the end of the party, they all decided to take an Uber together, mainly because it was getting late. Dream was cowering in the back seat while Nicholas sat up front, and Nicholas dropped his phone out of the window like some kind of fucking iPad kid. Nicholas stumbles out of the Uber and tries to look for the phone in a dark freeway before being stopped by the police because obviously it's too dangerous, and the Uber driver convinces Nicholas to get back in and leave. The Uber driver also offers some advice to Nicholas, and he doesn't like that and goes off on the dude, and Dream claims he tried to defend the driver, saying a few words that seem like something a 5th grader would say to his bully before getting hung in a locker. You know how the rest goes. After the incident, Nicholas actually sent Dream a DM apologizing for the whole situation like a decent human being, clarifying that he'd been going through a rough patch in his life and he was also drunk and high. Nicholas truly seemed like he wanted to make amends and apologize. And then Dream threw his apology aside like a bitch. But that's besides the point. Later on, Nicholas continued creating accusations despite apologizing prior, calling Dream a pedo and wishing death on him. He did also admit to the things he did, and while that doesn't justify his actions, it was a step in the right direction. In light of all this, Dream gets a hold of the videos that we've seen so many times and posts them to his Twitter, and Nicholas deletes most of his prior tweets just like that. That's really about it for the situation, and it really just turned out to be a big match between two pussies that wanted to get after each other but weren't man enough to do it the right way, or at the very least just let it all go. No one was in the right here, at least by my own personal standards. At the end of this Floridian shitfest, it's really confusing to choose where I stand, so I just wanted to make a few main assertions based on my own opinion, interpretations, and information provided by all sides of the argument in all situations. Do I think Dream is a pedophile, at least in terms of the moaning situation? No, I do not. The evidence undoubtedly has its holes, as Dream explained. Even looking into the situation myself and the whole 24-page fucking document covering the alleged Snapchat altercation with Jamie, I think that this is likely fabricated, whether that be by the burner account or someone else. I mean, it's just so easy to make a fake Snapchat, and it didn't even look like the Snapchat video was actually the app, but rather just a video. The Discord messages presented didn't seem very reliable either, with things being cropped out and hidden, and not to mention the police report that was supposed to be filed but never was. I can see how many people likely believe this at face value, as did I, because Dream comes across as creepy or weird at times, most times, even going as far as to call his audience kittens. Bleh. The way he's weaponized his extremely toxic fanbase in the past too serves as a testament to his creepiness, but I don't think it's necessarily reached the point of pedophilia based on the available information and interviews. Now, I also believe that Dream was just as at fault as Nicholas was in the whole Uber situation. I won't dwell on this too long again because it's quite evident what I mean here. Nicholas was acting poorly by being drunk and high, harassing both Dream and the Uber driver while in such a poor state. Dream, on the other hand, was also in the wrong for even choosing to get in the same vehicle as Nicholas, despite Nicholas getting physical with him previously, as well as not accepting Nicholas's genuine apology that tried to reprimand his actions. This ultimately encouraged Nicholas to retaliate and accuse more, which pushed Dream to make the poor decision of posting the video and feeling the flames. So, do I think Dream is a pedo? No. Do I think he handled Nicholas correctly? No. Do I still dislike Dream? Undoubtedly. He's not perfect by any means and has proved time and time again to be a blatant liar and a great manipulator when it comes to his fan base. However, he has not committed every action he's been accused of, with some being super outlandish. He's not a good guy, but he's not dumb either, and I applaud him on his explanation video and the careful manner in which he handled these situations. My advice to Dream would be to simply distance yourself. Interacting with your fan base is great, but Dream specifically is something completely different. Hell, this video, despite me taking a neutral if not Dream favorite approach, could be subjected to some Dream stan lashback. That's fine, I can handle hate. If Dream would just take a more conservative, professional approach to his online presence, especially given his size of now over 30 million subscribers, I feel like he could avoid future issues. He should analyze fans on an individual basis and act accordingly, never taking any step past basic conversation or interaction. Also, just stay off Twitter. That place is developed into the deepest, most degenerate hellhole of the internet. Likely, his career will never be the same again, and this serves as a great example of the price to pay for fame. In the end, it was really hard for me to come to any sort of conclusion because the information is just all over the fucking place. Given what I have and know, though, these conclusions seem the most likely to me. However, everyone is entitled to their own interpretation and opinion, and I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. That's really about it for this one. I encourage you to watch Dream's video in its entirety because it is well put together and I think it might ease a lot of nerves. I'll continue to watch the issue a little more, but I think this will mostly wrap it up and the internet will move forward in a few months, if not weeks. Of course, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. I plan on exploring commentary even more and would love to hear any topic considerations you have as well. It doesn't have to be drama, it could just be something funny and outlandish, like maybe even some To Catch a Predator videos would be funny to react to. Just anything really. But yeah, again, I appreciate all of the support and I hope you enjoyed the video. Be careful out there and I'll catch you in the next one.